Today's story was written by Reddit user Catfish21SM. Everyone knows that humans like their pets. They are famous for domesticating everything that they can. Everyone thought that they were trying to uplift the hive mind insectoids from Hinimbus Prime, until one of their ambassadors showed up at the Galactic Council with a worker drone wearing a leash. He said it was a gift for his daughter. Humans are very good at it as well. They have a long history of domesticating animals native to their homeworld. Ever since they developed genetic modification, they have been on a domestication rampage. If it isn't sentient, then you can almost guarantee that the humans will create some form of domesticated variant. However, they have not edited the genes of any other species nearly as much as their own canine species, one of the first that they had domesticated on their homeworld. Honestly, the vast majority of the Galactic Council is severely against the humans' genetic modifications and domestication attempts. It's not like they genetically modify the entire species or release their modified species back into the environment, but it just seems somewhat unnatural. A bill could very easily pass banning all forms of genetic modification. There is far more support for such a bill than would ever be needed to pass it. So then you might be wondering, why hasn't the bill been passed already? Or better yet, why hasn't anyone even suggested such a bill? Well, that's easy. It's because of the humans' most well-known genetically modified species, the hellhound. Humans have a long history of using their canine companions in war, oftentimes to great effect. They bred specific types of canine that they called warhounds just for that purpose. And even though they are bred for war, the humans still have a tendency to grow very attached to them. The warhounds never really got out of hand, that is until the humans started experimenting with genetic modification. At first it wasn't that successful, but after they designed AI that was able to determine what specific sequences of DNA did what the game was on, many of the humans' conventional war machines were made completely obsolete almost overnight. They called these horrific amalgamations hellhounds, and for good reason. The first thing that they did was make them the size of earth elephants. Then they changed the body type to resemble a cross between a large predatory cat and a predatory bear. They kept the canine's head, but modified the teeth to cut rather than to hold on to prey. They used AI to maximize the efficiency of muscle tissue to bone mass in order to give it agility, speed, and reflexes unlike anything that nature could ever hope to produce. They improved all of its senses several times over, and they gave it the ability to imprint on only a couple of individuals while it was still a young pup, meaning that no one other than its handlers can control it. If its handler dies, then you die. If that wasn't bad enough, then they gave it intelligence. Not sapience, but not far off. They gave it enough to strategize, but not enough to bog itself down with what-ifs. It is able to change the colour of its fur at will. It can't perfectly blend into its environment, but it can make itself a little harder to see, especially in the dark. They turned it into the perfect killing machine. And speaking of the dark, just for the hell of it, they decided to give it bioluminescent eyes that glow a bright orange-red colour in the dark, for the sole purpose of striking fear into their enemies. They supposedly debated on whether or not to attach guns to them, but the natural, if you can even call it that, speed and reflexes of the animal far surpassed any technology the humans had available to them, meaning that guns would just slow its killing spree down. Oh, by the way, did I mention that all of this was before they left their home system? That's right, they made these modifications with the limited genetic prompts found on their homeworld and some half-baked AI models. The hellhounds that they have now are far more terrifying than they ever were then. So you could probably imagine what might happen if the Galactic Council tried to vote away man's best friend. Yeah, everyone in the Galactic Council except the humans have one thing in common. Their worst nightmares need only contain 2 words: sick boy